Welcome to the Orlando Lions Den podcast, your number one Orlando City podcast. For the fans, by the fans. For the fans, by the fans. Keeping you in the know on all things Orlando City since 2018.
Hello, and sorry for that temporary lapse in seeing our beautiful faces before we meant to start. Something looked weird on Twitter, and it caused me some confusion and panic. But welcome to your number one source for talking about winning baseball teams, the New York Mets and the Chicago Cubs, both picking up wins today. That's what me and Alex would be saying if that's what this podcast was actually about. But instead, we are here to talk Orlando City and all the pain that it has caused us. The first 7 games of the season, is it 7? Or are we at 7? No, we're still only at 6. Through the first 6 games of the season, 7 if you count the preseason one that kind of started this whole train of crap rolling. But we have so much fun to talk about, coming off of a 6-0 defeat to Los Angeles FC, 3 assists for Son, a hat trick for Bouanga. An own goal for Brecalo. Just a lovely time all around. But before we get into all of the fun stuff, my friend in Naples gearing up. Sorry, first I got to shout out Corey. Guards 1-2. All right, fine. Well, Corey, I'll send you the link. Get in here. We can go ahead and only talk baseball today. Shout out Ronnie Mauricio, my boy. 10th inning winner. He needed that. Alex, my man down in Naples, how are we gearing up for the Open Cup?
I've got a contingent of 5 people coming with me. I pre-ordered tickets the moment they went on sale from the FC Naples box office. Just to settle this at the top of the show, despite the form, I will be cheering for Orlando City. And not to be, I have an Orlando City tattoo now. That's kind of the news at the top of the show for me.
Heck yeah, you do.
I have to cheer for Orlando. I was a FC Naples season ticket holder last year. They're my second favorite US based team, but I got to pull for the Lions. There was no question in my mind. And I think we can talk about that more a little later because I have some thoughts about that matchup.
So. That's completely fair. We're not going to talk much about that yet because it's not until next week. But
well, then I'll talk about it at the top.
Well, first, before you do that, I'm just going to say, Derek, I'm letting you know I'm not putting that comment on screen. I see Derek in the chat. That one's not getting aired.
Oh man, good grief. Yeah, here's the reality about the FC Naples matchup. This is a huge match for FC Naples. They're promoting it everywhere down here. It was in like our county representatives' emails this week. Everywhere. And here's the reality. FC Naples is closer to Orlando in the tables in the pyramid than Orlando is to LAFC.
That sounds right.
We are 29th. At least we aren't the Union, but we are 29th. FC Naples is first overall in USL League One, and there are 25 championship clubs. So I looked at that. I didn't know how many clubs were still in the championship. 26 clubs separate them. So wow. All I'm going to say is this. If they don't put a MLS 11 out there, there's going to be a problem. And I think this is going to be the nail in the coffin for any joy that could still come out of this season. For Orlando.
That's fair. I don't think you're too far off on that. And at this point, I kind of firmly believe you need to have a MLS 11. Again, we're going to talk more about this next week, but you need a slump buster in the worst way. Some people use slump busters in many different ways. If I've ever, unfortunately, that was a common term in college. It's not a good term, but it's also something in baseball. We're talking baseball earlier. You need something. You need that slow pitch, that soft fastball. You need that batter's practice rep. And Naples is a good team, but this is their Super Bowl. This is this is the biggest game that they've ever played. They're going to show up for it. And I know we have
almost
traveling support
completely sold out.
And we have traveling support that's going to show up too. Shout out to the ILF. Shout out to the Ruckus for being there. Shout out to anybody not affiliated with those groups that's making the trip. But it's going to be a heck of a game. It's going to be an important game. And realistically, it's going to be something that can hopefully inject a little bit of some hopium into the season, because Lord knows, do we all need it. So first, before we get into talking the game, before we take a look at some of the comments, and before I go ahead and give you guys a recap of Den After Dark, because some of you were probably really confused, let's go ahead and shout out some sponsors. First out, Chad McGibbon. If you're trying to buy a home in the Central Florida area, at Chad McGibbon on Twitter or the QR code on the screen. He is your guy and will help you out. If you're trying to buy that house, Leo Gonzalez with the Epic Mortgage Team, powered by U Mortgage, 407-844-7696. A mortgage, refinance, whatever it may be. I don't know how the housing market's working right now when it comes to loans or when it comes to buying. All I know is it's scary, and these two guys can help you out. And last but certainly not least, our man Eddie with Comparion Insurance. We've really got to update your picture, Eddie. I need a new one because you look way more guapo than you did there, and you were already handsome to begin with. But all your insurance needs, Eddie has you covered. Any kind of insurance. And if you can't reach him through the QR code on the screen, feel free to just DM the podcast and we will get you taken care of. So I want to just shout Nick's in the chat. God bless Derek. We have been road warriors over the years, have seen some of the worst together and go witness that belt to LAFC match live. I do want to go ahead and give a quick shout out to the traveling support and honestly to some of the LAFC fans who posted pictures of you guys. I know that's normally kind of a weird thing, but a lot of LAFC fans gave you guys credit for still being out there riding for the team, even how bad it is. So all the credit in the world to you guys. And I just want to say, I always love when I see other supporters kind of throwing that respect out there too, because it's definitely needed. LOL MLS 11 at this point, the youngins might be better. Send some hunger. That's going to be my point for later in a slightly different regard. But it is something that's important. Let's get some of those players up there. And let's go ahead and talk about another big loss, 6-0 to LAFC. There was some chances generated late, but if I am being completely honest with everything, your boy does not have a lot to say, because I don't know what happened here. I don't know what was supposed to happen here. I don't know what the plan was. And Ryder, I will kick it off to you. Tell me anything you want to about this game, because I don't think we got nothing nice to say, but I'm curious your point. Do you know what was happening in this game? Because I certainly am still looking for points here.
No, this was just spaghetti against the wall. This was trying to use a makeshift defense to play against the best team in the league. These two clubs were on completely different levels. And it doesn't help that on both sides of the ball, LAFC had a great match. Like Lorius looked great. He had quite a few saves in the second half from some of those chances. Not that I saw, I'll be honest. I turned this game off after the first half. I just couldn't put myself through it. But Son getting 4 assists is I saw I think it was Men in Blazers posted on Instagram that he made it look like a video game. And that's exactly what it was, because he was cutting through defenders that just weren't measuring up. And that's by far our biggest problem, and has been since the start of the season. And I hate to say it just at the top, Robin Jansen's not going to solve this. Bringing him back from injury is not going to solve these problems. And I think that we are in a dire way, to the point where I think I saw we're already rumored to be getting a defensive transfer in the summer window, but you would definitely know more about that.
Well, whatever one you're bringing up, I don't know that I saw it.
I don't know where I saw it somewhere.
Because the only thing that I saw us linked to recently, and I don't believe it at all, is Anthony Martial. I don't believe that for a second. I think that's just, we just signed a French player. We're going to bring in another French player.
I'll have to look it up, and if I find it, I'll tweet it out. But we are in a bad way on the back line, and it needs to change. But here's the other thing: the tactics weren't much better. The only thing that would have been more tactically sound would have been just to put everybody in the box and not do anything the whole match. We're in a bad way.
We are in a bad way, and the tactics are important, because normally I would be the kind of person that says we need to try something different. We should be looking to try something different. Normally I would be that person. However, in this instance, we decided to go with a 5 at the back setup, where we played Brian Ojeda as a fullback. Now, Ryder, I got a question for you. Trivia question. How many times in his career has Brian Ojeda played fullback or even wingback, either or?
I'm counting on my fingers. None.
Exactly. Thank you. He has never been he played left mid in one game in like 2020. He's not a fullback. He's not a wide player at all. And we sent him out there to say, go deal with either Denny Bawanga or Heung-min Son. What was the expectation? I understand that Griffin Dorsey was hurt. I understand that, he's working his way back. I understand that we're missing guys like Tyrese Spicer. But like, what are we doing? Like, and it's one of those things where I'm not trying to be just a negative Nancy. And I've said this before. I said this on Den After Dark. People sometimes will be like, you guys are just negative because it more people listen or more people watch. No, that's not true. Like, our best episodes and the ones that perform the best, which, by the way, we don't care about. We don't make money for this show. We spend money on this show.
Yeah, exactly. It's coming out of, which I think I owe you money, by the way.
I never sent you guys the bill for StreamYard, so that's totally on me. So I have to go ahead and do that. I'll figure that out later.
Well, I have money again, so that's
there you go. That's important. That helps. That's important. So for when Eddie is listening to this later, sorry that I'm sending the reminder this way. I'll text you guys.
That's how strapped we are for something to laugh about or just have content, because that's how rough this actually was.
To be fair, though, I got us a discount this time around because they were raising the price, and I said, I think we're going to leave. And they said, what if we give you 50% off? And I was like, that works.
It's the Xfinity model.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing is, like, I'm all for trying new things and experimenting, but like, you have a fullback who has been playing right back with OCB, has been coming off the bench to the end of last year and the beginning of this year. He had one really bad moment against Nashville, okay? But like, a guy like Taifi, I don't understand why you didn't give him a shot here. Like, again, you're throwing a guy to the Wolves who's not a fullback against two of the best players in the league. Like, two players that are probably top 5 in the league. And I don't think that I'm over-exaggerating by that whatsoever. You threw a guy who's not a fullback to handle that. At least try throwing a kid who's a fullback and see if that gets you somewhat of a better result. I just really cannot fathom the thought process that went into this. And not to mention, like, this is where I was saying, like, hey, I'd talk about this a little bit later, to Nick's point, is at this point, I'm not even sure that I'm seeing, like, first team commitment from guys that are out there. Like, these guys don't look like they care. They look all checked out. And yeah, obviously you lost your coach. You're playing under an interim who knows his days are numbered. Like, there's not a lot of positive right now, but I would say at least play people who seem like they give a crap. That's why give me some of the kids playing games. Justin Ellis just got his homegrown contract. He's been awesome with OCB. Why is he getting on the bench but getting no minutes? Like, give him a shot. Like, I don't think I'm being like Give Gustavo Caraballo another shot. Give Taifi a shot. Like, Gusky didn't have the best game, but he was also next to Atuesta, who, in my opinion, had his worst game in purple in his entire time here. Like, again,
like
you
not
missed
even
the
close.
You missed the second half, but like you did not miss anything groundbreaking out of Atuesta, because I felt that he had a horrendous game here.
Well, and wasn't you're talking about motivation and you're talking about actually giving a crap. Wasn't there a story on the club's official socials commenting about how Perelman thought that they had a positive attitude and were going into this match with a good attitude? I didn't see that. Is the good attitude on the pitch with us? Like, what is?
It's not in the room with us, that's for sure.
It's not at all evident in how we're playing, and I think this is a side effect of not just the injuries but the haphazard way this season has been put together so far. And
Yeah.
that goes to, that's coaching, that's player acquisition, that's the uncertainty with some of the roster spots, and now we're just trying to pick up the pieces 6 games into a 34 match season. And that doesn't even include Open Cup, Leagues Cup, whatever other cup Don Garber makes up mid-season. Like,
yeah.
How do we survive this and then turn around and play a half season?
Yeah, and that was the other thing that like frustrated me too. And this is just like a personnel decision. And I'll get to spicy gnocchis here point in a second. Like, I'm benching Justin Ellis. Like, he finally got the homegrown contract. We finally got him to agree, because he was one of the guys he was a holdout more than anything. He didn't want to sign a contract because he thought he had European prospects. Decided to sign the project because like they kind of, I guess, dried up a little bit as he was turning 18. Whatever that ends up happening, but decided to go ahead and sign the first team contract. He's been awesome with OCB. He's been the best player at OCB. It's been pretty much like him, Carballo, Pedro Leao, and Harvey Sarajan, our top draft pick this year. They've been offensively fire for OCB, and Justin Ellis demands respect from every team OCB plays. Why are we subbing in Yutaro Sakata? Like, and I'm not trying to talk shade on him, but like, as far as OCB goes, when he's playing with them, it's the other guys that are still running the show, and he's just like the fifth guy, you know? Like, I want to see the guys that are like actually going crazy out there, and doing awesome things. So, and Gnocchi here mentioning Bracalo and Marine are dead. Obviously Marine didn't even come in for this game. Bracalo had also a giant game to forget. And then they add, I don't understand how the front office can be watching this and thinking that we'll make up for it later. I'm highly concerned that we won't get a good coach who will want to come here. We won't. So the issue with that when it comes to the coach, and I said this extensively on Den After Dark, which now is a perfect segue into that. We all have to be prepared that the likelihood of us hiring a coach before the World Cup break is incredibly low. And that's not anything that has to do with us. That's not anything that has to do with Orlando City in general, the front office. That's going to have to do with all the coaching prospects. Coaching prospects are going to become more available at the end of European seasons. That's just the truth. And coaches who are currently available also are going to want to wait for the end of those European seasons to see what other openings are out there. A lot of them and their agent are probably going to say that you're doing yourself a disservice by signing a deal now without seeing if somebody else is interested. As much as I want that person a deal to be done now, as much as I'm saying, give Wilfred Nancy whatever the hell he wants to come in and coach this team, I understand that the only deal that gets that done now is some kind of insane Godfather offer that hasn't really been given to an MLS coach before. And I don't think we're going to be the team that does that. I think that there's going to be plenty of coaches who will come here who are interested in here. It's just, unfortunately, I do not see a world where that happens prior to the World Cup. I don't know if you think differently on that.
I in my head, I want it to happen as soon as possible, but in my heart,
yesterday.
Exactly. I want it to happen 2 weeks ago. I think they should have had a plan, which it's very clear they didn't, because they wouldn't have parted with Oscar unless there was a plan, especially in a World Cup year, and we just don't. But here's the reality. It's not just about this season. It's about the seasons coming up, and next 2027 is a big year for MLS. There's going to be an MLS Cup in like May for the 14 match season. And so
weird thing that's going to happen.
And that is going to be the project where you bring in some players and you see who can take the clubs to their next level in a new version of the league. This is going to be a big step for MLS competition. And I think we should set ourselves up for the next 6 or 7 years and not for the next 6 or 7 months.
Absolutely.
And I think we need to just embrace the fact that we're going to have more stinkers. We've gone 194 minutes without scoring a goal. It's been over 3 weeks. I think we're going to have to just embrace that. We got to stand with the guys as much as we can. We are going to call them out and say, hey, you're not putting in the effort, or you're not going to be wearing purple next year. But you gotta stand with your team. I mean, we all lived through, what was it, 9-game loss in 28 in a row in 2018.
2018, yeah.
We might do that again. That's what this podcast was founded on, misery and despair, and we've had some good times and we're getting back to our roots. But you know what? If we set ourselves up right and we get a next generation, next level manager to take us into the next 6 or 7 years, I think we'll look back on this as a worthy sacrifice to give up a season or even half a season to get the right manager. And
that's the important thing.
To Spicy Noki's point from earlier is, I don't think we're going to necessarily make up for it. Like this club is not going to even come close to making a proper playoff spot. 9 should be the ceiling for us. And if we get that, it'll be a miracle. We have to make up so much ground, and it'll all have to happen. We can steal a point here and there, but I think we can maybe make it happen with Griezmann if we also get some depth and some quality on the back line. But I need to see it before I can even believe it. How many points was it that Brown said we were going to have by the World Cup break? Like 10?
Oh, 12? He didn't say anything about points. He said we were going to concede 50 goals by the World Cup break, which right now we're not too far off of. So we're actually on pace for that pretty well. So which is looking good. Now, and the only other thing I was going to say is, if you didn't get a chance to listen to Den After Dark, this is your reminder. Den After Dark is always right immediately after the final whistle it's immediately after the final whistle for away games, like 30 minutes after the final whistle for home games. And it's just a little show we do on Twitter Spaces, or X Spaces, whatever they call it now.
It's the only good thing still on X other than OC Twitter.
Yeah, and it doesn't work half the time, but we do our best with it. And the reason I wanted to bring it up is because if you got the chance to listen in, you got to see that JJ and I Freaky Friday'd, because I was very loud cursing, and I am upset. Obviously, that is Den After Dark. We curse a lot more on that show. We try and keep it closer to PG-13 on this. And JJ said, you know what? Be positive. He still feels good. He's had some discussions with people in the club. He's got an idea of what he thinks, his understanding on from what he's been, the crumbs that have been he thinks it's going to take some time, and we need to be patient, but he does feel good about the way things are going. He said it's going to be bad, The coach isn't coming in until the World Cup, but JJ's positive. And I give him all the respect in the world for that, because someone's got to be. But I, sure as crap, no, it's not going to be me right now. I can tell you that much. So,
me neither.
So with that being said, I just want to go ahead and take one quick point just to note before we do our stock up, stock down, and talk about what's coming up. Perelman's post-game quotes. I want to read one quote for him, and I want you to let me know what you think about it. Talking about the loss to LAFC, he said, "It's not easy. Defeat hurts. It hurts me. It hurts the players. It hurts the staff, fans. Everybody involved in the club is hurt after defeats like this. It's not common, but again, it is what it is." What's your initial reaction to that quote?
That is a rough quote to put into the press after giving up 11 goals in 180 minutes of competition on each end of a international break. Like,
yes,
don't get me wrong, Nashville and LAFC away are tough trips, but
brutal trips.
You gotta at least show something. And if it's like I said earlier, they were talking about positivity and good mental attitude from the players going into that match after the international break. But man, you come with a quote like that and just say, "It is what it is." It is what it is. That's basically declaring defeat. That's throwing in the towel. That's him saying, I'm not managing this club for much longer. This isn't going to be my problem. So it is what it is. I'll go home and take a shower and move on with my day. This is not the attitude we want. We want to defy what can be done with the club that we currently have and that the front office has given us as far as depth. And that's just not it. And the players are reflecting that on the pitch. Like you were talking about how they're looking, and this is exactly how it looks. It's a bad look.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to get up to turn on some light because now I'm finally starting to get the sun down over here.
Sun's been down for 90 minutes here.
No, I know. Reminder to everyone that I'm in Colorado.
Where the weather is probably nicer right now.
What is it right now?
We've resorted to talking about the weather. This is how bad we are. It is what it is.
64 degrees out right now. High today was 72. Beautiful. Yeah. High today was 72. We'll take that. But okay. So yeah, for me that post-game comment was pretty much kind of just like the nail in the coffin, like it's an acknowledgement that he thought that there was a chance that he was going to have the job or be able to keep like a spot on the staff. I think he's kind of thinks that that's done now. I also didn't really like that, he said, it's not common. I was like, it's not common. Like this happened 2 weeks in a row. like I don't
almost
know.
The exact same script.
Yeah. Like damn near identical things happen 2 weeks in a row. So what do you mean it's not common? I'm not so sure. Like, let's see, we got Perelman Poppy's system and style. Let him go. Get Kaka as interim head coach and keep him as an assistant later. We need a leader. I agree that we need a leader, but Kaka has no coaching experience. Like this, we're not in a situation where we can have a lost locker room and have on-the-job training. Like I as much as I agree, because you said no leadership at all now, I agree we need leadership, but we also need leadership and experience. You can't go ahead and just say, well, yes, he was a great leader. He was a great player in his day. And I'm not sure he even wants to do it. I wouldn't be sure if he,
I don't think he would want to.
I don't know if he
I don't care if his name's on the part of the stadium in the Ring of Honor. He's not going to want to do it. Like,
yeah,
we're going to have a difficult time. Then we're more likely to convince Seb Hines to pull double duty.
He's barely a good coach for the Pride, in my opinion. he has his moments, but I wouldn't go that way either. So while I understand the thought process, for me that's a no, just because of the fact that we need someone who has experience and leadership qualities. He's got leadership qualities, but I just don't know that he wants to be a coach or would be a good coach. Nick saying stock up, stock down. We all suck. It is what it is, but we for him, but we need a manager. Absolutely. And it's a shame that we might have to still wait multiple weeks until we do it. I believe 5/22, I think, is the last game before the international break for the World Cup. And then we got 2 months to have it figured out. And at least for that 2 months, hopefully some of the people are going to stay in town and are going to train with whoever our new manager is that gets appointed. And we don't waste too much time on it. But Ryder, do you have any stock up in this game?
The supporters that traveled.
That's fair.
My tattoo artist.
Yeah, shout out your tattoo artist, giving you an Orlando City tattoo. Maybe that's no. I can't blame anything on the tattoo. You got the tattoo done while things were already getting pretty bad.
That was a fun thing to have my wife say when I told her the halftime score because it got moved from the TV to the laptop after 3-0. She looks at me and goes, "You sure about that tattoo, Alex?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm sure." I love it.
I got one in, I want to say it was like 2015 or 2016. That's my Orlando City tattoo, and it's just it's a very like old school traditional tattoo from my friend Dan, who I used to work with. I was like, give me a soccer ball with like white and purple patches. And I was like, I want a flamingo on it because I was like, let me get a Florida tattoo and a soccer tattoo at the same time for Orlando City. And then obviously that was well before anything Miami happened. So now everyone's like, looks at it as like, what is this? I was like, no, it's nothing. It's just Florida flamingo. Like, that's what I did. Like, calm down. Like, you guys get out of here. Crazies. But I ain't changing it. I love it. It's a good one. So I'll probably get something else Orlando somewhere down the line. But as you guys know, I got stuff all over the place. So, but as for me, I am going to actually give a stock up here to a player. And that's just because he actually came on the field and kind of showed that he wanted to try and do something, took a rip from distance that really tested Lloris. I want to shout out Luis Otavio. He actually looked like he wanted to do something in the final 20 minutes, 30 minutes of the game. He's frustrated, and a lot of players are frustrated right now. And that's part of the reason why we need leadership. We need better leadership to help these kids, the young players that are frustrated. That's kind of really what it comes down to. But I want to give him a shout out for actually like kind of showing some grit and determination and actually giving a crap and trying a couple things. And stock down it goes everywhere. I could go ahead and give it to Atuesta for having one of his worst games. I can go ahead and give it to the midfield as a whole because of the fact that Gusky had a rough game. Brekalo was terrible. I could give it to Brekalo. I could give it to Perelman for the decisions that he made. I can give it to the front office. I can go. There's no breadth that I can't go right now as far as how far the stock down goes. It goes everywhere. And it's kind of crazy to me that I think that the most impactful player this season has been Ivan Angulo, a player that I have very vehemently been opposed to for like 2 seasons now. He's been the most interesting player on the team because he's running, he's creating opportunities, and everyone else has kind of been terrible. I think it was something that got said in our group chat. Like we were saying, like at the end of last year, man, how great would it be if Angulo could level up and offer something in the attack with the rest of these guys firing on all cylinders? We'd be unstoppable next year. And then naturally, Angulo actually has gotten better. And it seems like everyone else was raised under power lines now all of a sudden. Like, started eating paint chips as kids. quoting Tommy Boy for those who know. Nick, what are we saying here? Let's talk about waiting on Griezmann. Some summer signings have been game changers. Rooney dragged a bad DC United to the playoff when it was only 6 teams made it. I mean, that's the thing, Nick. You have a point. But here's the thing to counter that, and I'm sure based on what Ryder has said here, he agrees too. Until we get the right coach, that's not going to matter too much. Because I agree, Griezmann could definitely drag us somewhere, hopefully out of the depths of hell. But I don't know if him alone is enough. And you obviously said in the chat already, we need a manager. Ryder, I'm sure you agree that we need a manager as well.
Yeah.
I'm
but not a rushed one. Has to be.
I'm positive
long term.
I'm positive that we're going to be getting some communication between Griezmann, between Ricardo, between the staff, like what they think is going to be best. They're going to go ahead and make a determination together. Like I've said all along, I think that Wilfred Nancy obviously is the guy that I'd be banging on the table for. He makes a lot of sense. I wouldn't be surprised if Ricardo and Antoine Griezmann are both banging on the table for a guy like Felipe Luis. Those are my two names that I am watching the most. We'll see what happens. So, all right, guys, we're in for another pretty quick show. Unless we start doing the baseball talk, which, Corey, if you're still here again, that link, I'll send it to you. But Columbus away. Columbus has struggled this season, but they got their slump buster last week. They played Atlanta and beat them 3-1. So I am not optimistic, because why would I be? What reasons do I have to be optimistic in this time? There's just not a lot. Ryder, before I do prediction, what about you? What are your thoughts on this? Going away to what I just recently learned has been renamed, is no longer Lower.com Field. It is now Scott's Miracle Grow Field in Columbus, Ohio. How are you feeling about this? Yeah, I looked at that and I said, what the hell?
I mean, that's not the worst name for a stadium, but still.
No, it's definitely
the fun.
Not.
The only thing that would make it funnier is if they had field turf.
Yeah, that would have been funnier. But
that's like naming it in BC Place, Scott's Fertilizer.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where I just looked at that. I was like, well, that doesn't roll off the tongue at all. So what's your on a scale of 1 to 10? What's your optimism at right now for this game?
I'm gonna say maybe a 5. They're struggling.
It's generous. It's generous.
They're only 2 points ahead of us. They had a lot of early issues, but here's the reality: we've let in a lot more goals than they have. They've only let in 9. We've let in 23 in the same amount of time. And that was against good teams and bad teams, mostly good teams, but this is still the best chance we have to maybe get a point. So with my optimism of 5, I'm going to say somehow we steal a point 2-2.
Wow. I would love that. Also, apparently, I'm just learning that. Oh, never mind. I was on the wrong profile. Whoops. I was on the podcast profile. I was taking a look at Twitter real quick, and I was like, I don't remember that happened. Never mind. I'll fix that. Thought it was my personal for a second. I mean, I like your optimism being at a 5, and I like you predicting a draw. I think if we pick
a draw would be water and a glass of water in hell. That's all it would be.
That's yeah. I think that'd be fantastic. You know, that'd be some more than what I think we could have hoped for in this situation. I can't be as optimistic as you. On a scale of 1 to 10, I am at like a 1.4. Like it's low, especially with them now figuring out their attack with Abu Ali getting. I think he had 2 goals in this game against Atlanta.
Yeah, he's up to 5.
You know, he's scoring goals. I even got in an argument with a Philadelphia fan.
He has as
Twitter
many
today.
goals as we have as a team.
Yeah. I got in an argument with a Philadelphia fan on Twitter earlier today because we were debating which one of us should be last in the power rankings. He's like, we haven't won a game. I was like, you guys have given up 11 goals. We've given up 23. like
And
we
yet we
got
went
one.
up one in the power rankings, at least ESPN's. We went from 27 to 26. I'm like,
See,
why?
I don't look at ESPN's. I was looking at Matt Doyle's, who has us dead last, and MLS, who has us at 29. Like,
I want
I
whatever.
was
I
like,
saw that we went up. I'm like, did we watch the same soccer match, ESPN? Obviously, you're not paying that much attention if you had us go up.
yeah,
We traded with
Oh.
Atlanta
yeah,
on their rankings.
I don't know about that. Well, I am far less optimistic than you are. I am going to go ahead and say, give me a 3-1 defeat. Maybe we kind of keep it close. Thank you, Nick. I needed that laugh. All they've ever done that's good for us is the cheesesteak, and sometimes for some people that's even questionable. So I'm gonna go with a 3-1 loss here. I can't see better than that. But I at this point, like I said, give me players that want to be on the field. Give me goal is going to be scored by Justin Ellis. He's going to be the one who gets a goal. They're going to give him a shot off the bench, and he's going to score. That's what my prediction is. And you know what? If that happens, maybe he makes it 2-1, and then we give up a late goal trying to fight back. I'd feel better about that. If it's a 3-1 loss in that kind of fashion, and give the goal coming from Justin Ellis would make me feel a lot better about everything.
Go down fighting and not go down crying.
Which we have gone down crying the last 2 weeks in a row, and 4 weeks it feels like out of at least four out of the 6 games so far this season, in my opinion. So, with that, then, quick episode. That's the predictions. You got a 2-2 draw. I got a 3-1 loss. Let's go ahead and do some shout outs. You got any shout outs this week, my man?
Oh man, the only shout out that should matter. Shout out to the NASA and the Artemis 2 astronauts. Just absolutely killing it. They're about a third of the way home at this point. I have never been more excited for something that wasn't sports maybe in my life, as far as something beyond my own life, because this was long.
I have something to say about this. I'll let you finish your point first.
The amount of profound things they have said while viewing the moon, going around the moon, the calls to just be, there were some biblical quotes and just some be good to each other. You look back on the earth and you see how small it is. That's the things they have said is beautiful. And just the amount of joy and internet moments that have happened this week of everyone joining together and watching this. It's kind of cool. And it's nice to see, considering everything else is. Yeah.
So first off, I like that. It's profound. Reminder, seeing stuff like that as your reminder to how insignificant we may be as individuals, how small we are in the universe. It's really mind-blowing, eye-opening, refreshing, things that we need. With that being said, one of my favorite things that has come from this is the fact that flat earthers on TikTok are still a thing, arguing against this stuff. Like, people saying that. My favorite one was this guy earlier, and it was a video. It was a guy who he stitched his video with it. Guy's like looking from the Artemis while it's getting very far away from Earth, and he's like, I thought there was like 14,000 satellites around Earth. How come I don't see any of them? And the guy just showed a high up image of New York City. He's like, I thought there was all these people here. How come none of them are there? Like, do you realize how small everything is in the grand
Can you
scheme?
see satellites from 250,000 miles away?
Like, there is another one saying, you really just think that they're just going up there? And the girl's like, yeah. Like, and well,
it's better than thinking it's on a soundstage.
That's true. We can't debate that again until they actually do a moon landing for whatever the next mission is. So, but the other thing that I was going to say is I do also love that they're like playing music up there in space, and like NASA's
they do that every day. They do
NASA's
that on
posting
the
what they're playing
space station every day. They've
And
been doing it since the shuttle.
They posted something today of them playing some Denzel Curry, which shout out South Florida rap there. They played some Denzel Curry, and Denzel Curry, it was retweeted by Anthony Fantano, who, if you follow him on YouTube, says he's the internet's biggest music nerd, and he does reviews about it and everything. And he retweeted it saying, "What is happening?" And then Denzel Curry retweeted it saying, "Time for you to update the rating you gave my album, fool." He said, "Aliens are bumping my stuff. Come on."
Aliens are, oh man. The best music moment for me was when they woke up. I think it was either the second or the third day, and their wake up song was Pink Pony Club. And they, after the song was over, the first thing you hear is one of the astronauts saying, "We were waiting so earnestly for the chorus. All I want." They've released all these beautiful photos from the dark side, the moon, the eclipse, the Earth set photo that's going to be everywhere. But my word, do I want to see 4 astronauts just belting out tone deaf style Pink Pony Club in the Artemis 2 space capsule. That would just,
would love it. I would love it.
That would be incredible.
I'll be right there with you, because I also enjoy that. Shout out Chapel Roan. I got to see her last year, and it was fantastic. My quick 2 shout outs. At this point, I'm just turning it into the Mike's Media Corner. Shout out to went to 2 concerts this week. Shout out to The Maine. Their new album's coming out. It's really good. The Maine was a blast. And the concert that I went to last night would be one where Cleon would say that was some white people shit. I went and saw hardcore bands Drain, Haywire, and then No Pressure last night. And I will send you a video of that, Alex, because it was chaos. You could see it, but it was awesome. I got to reconnect with my buddy Sean, who I haven't seen in probably like 8 or 10 years. Me and him were in a band together when we were younger in like high school and college. So it was really cool to see him and see how he's doing. So that was awesome. And the other shout out is I got to check out the movie The Drama last week. It is a very stressful movie, but I feel like a lot of people, it's either going to be one of those ones where you either like it or you'll love it or you hate it. So I'll definitely recommend it. I had a good time with it. I think that if a movie makes you feel uncomfortable or makes you feel like you're in an uncomfortable situation, that means it's effective filmmaking. That's the way that I look at it. It made me feel something. So not all movies are going to make you feel good things. Sometimes they're going to make you uncomfortable, and that's part of the journey. I described it to my friends as like when you were a kid and you slept over at a friend's house and that friend's parents start arguing and you just kind of got to sit there. Like that's
secondhand embarrassment or secondhand uncomfortable.
100%. That's what this movie felt like. So that's my other recommendation. And you know, like I said, I'm going to try and use shout outs for other things that are bringing me joy in life. That's what my goal is going to be. Cause right now, I'll be honest, Orlando City, the community still brings me joy. I love all you guys who listen to the show. I love all the guys that I do the podcast with. I love everyone that's on Den After Dark. I love everything as far as the community that we've built with the Orlando Lions Den. The club's not bringing me a lot of joy right now. And I feel like the club's not bringing a lot of us joy right now. So that's why let's spread joy in other ways, other things that we're currently enjoying. That's what I'm going to use shout outs for. At least for the foreseeable future, because that's what we should be doing. So we just need to add a sub shout out section just for you to talk about movies every week, because guess what? It's going to be a hella summer for movies. Oh, I'm so it's going to be, I mean, we might turn this into a movie podcast when we're taking a World Cup break, because I'm going to have to talk about Disclosure Day so hard. Like, is Steven Disclosure Day or The Odyssey the one that's John Williams' score? I mean, Disclosure Day is Steven Spielberg. So Steven Spielberg. No, but I'm trying to. Who did the score? No. The Odyssey is done by Ludwig Göransson. I know that. Okay. But who's John about Williams to have probably do Disclosure Day. So okay, yeah, unfortunately, might be his last film. Hey, he had a hell of a career, and if there's any way to pass the torch to, it's Ludwig Göransson, who is fantastic, by the way. Unbelievable work on Black Panther, the first 2 seasons of the
Mandalorian. I think he's doing the Mandalorian and Grogu.
I'm not sure if he's doing the movie, but obviously he also just won Best Score for Sinners.
And he did Sinners.
Still and the most important, go on HBO Max when we're done with this.
I know.
And the
you sound like my brother. My brother keeps saying this to me.
The most important thing that Ludwig Göransson did, and this is where we really have to go ahead and harp on it, is Ludwig Göransson got his start working on the TV show Community, and that's how he got teamed up with Childish Gambino and helped make all of his early beats. That's where he started his career. It's important to know that.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
All of the beats on Childish Gambino's album Camp, Ludwig Göransson. In his most recent song that came out, Lithonia, the music video, Ludwig Göransson's playing guitar in it.
Okay. Well,
there you go.
Okay.
Blows
my mind. Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Well, that is an episode. Times might be tough for Orlando City, but remember, we're all in this together. Doesn't have to be, it is what it is. We all got one another. Be kind to each other. Love each other. Be there for your friends. Talk to your friends. Love your friends. Everything like that. Because we love you here at the Orlando Lions Den. It's always Vamos Orlando. And we'll see you after the Columbus game for Den After Dark. And we'll be back next week with another new episode where we get to talk all about the Open Cup coming up. Super excited. Love you. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Orlando Lions Den podcast. Don't forget to follow us at Orlando Lions Den on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. See you next week in the Den.